Hello guys, welcome back to LR Anime. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Flame Emperor episode number 411 based on novel. So let's start. The catastrophe of the ancients. Everything happened in the ancient world, and there was no news from the beginning to the end, so from the day the catastrophe ended, the ancients were completely busy. First, Xiao Yan confessed his guilt, punished himself by the rules of the ancient clan, and prepared to abolish everyone in his body to help Zuna completely reincarnate, and step into reincarnation in one fell swoop. Stop it, demote it to the deputy patriarch, and wait for the dispatch of the patriarch Xiao Zuna. In the future, he will kill the evil tribes outside the territory, so that he can take the blame and make merit. The second is to crown Xiao Zuna, and regard him as the new patriarch of the ancient clan, and control the affairs of the clan, but to the outside world, Xiao Yan is still the patriarch, to confuse the public and cover the identity of Zuna, and then become the chief elder Xiao Tianyang and the fifth elder Xiao held the most solemn funeral. Falling into the chessboard of life and death, even if Xiao Yan 8-star Doxian successfully touches the power of reincarnation, there is no way. The three are trying to recover some of the things that have been ruled by foreign evil clan for decades, but fortunately the ancient clan has an extraordinary background, and because of the conceit of the evil and charming scholar, not long after paying some rather weak price, the ancients are also restored as before, and their vitality is showing. In the end, many strong men of the ancient clan joined together to call the elders of the clan. After getting the elders of the elders, they were at peace with each other, but they only entered into a deep retreat, and this was done. In January, the ancient clan, whether in the city where the vassals lived on the ground or in the ancient city of the sky, were very busy. Some strong men were recovering their strength to deal with the evil tribes outside the territory, and some ordinary guards were maintaining and restoring the ancient world. The order of the calamity is that for those who have made a contribution to the catastrophe, they will be rewarded, and those who have made mistakes will be punished, and the rewards and punishments will be clearly defined. At this time, deep in the ancient city of the sky, in the mansion where the ancient patriarchs lived, there is a lot of fire everywhere, red lanterns are swaying, and there are some festive red stickers on the door plaques and door frames. It is quite festive, like a newly married wife. Xiao Yang gently opened the door, stretched out and said sleepily, "I originally thought that the catastrophe of the ancient clan was over, and I would be able to relax a little, but who would have thought that all the affairs of the ancient clan were piled up in Zuna's boudoir?" Zuna, Xiao Yang couldn't help but finish it with his hands, only then did he have extremely serious dark circles under his eyes. However, what Xiao Yang was most depressed about was his own strength. The ancient clan said that the battle was easy, but in fact it was not. However, Xiao Yang's strength was still at the peak of the late 7-star Doxian, and he was still some distance away from consummation, and Xiao Yang always felt that it seemed that it was because of cultivating the burning dew or swallowing the holy flame. Too many, writing the last few steps by myself, it is much more difficult to break through than others. However, she is not jealous of Zuna's inheritance of the 9 profound Fire Lord's reincarnation seal, and the acquisition of the 9 profound Chongming flame. Instead, she is gratified. At least she has the power to protect herself. Although I know that Zuna belongs to God's favor, but when she thinks that she has been struggling for decades to break through to the late stage of the 7-star fighting immortals, Zuna directly absorbs the legacy of countless generations of ancestors of the ancient clan, and she surpasses her heart in one fell swoop. For the sake of gloom, maybe this is the so-called second generation of the family. Brother Xiao Yang. Just as Xiao Yang pushed open the door, a beautiful and colorful figure emerged from the dust and agile like a elf. The appearance of not eating fireworks was like a fairy descending from the earth, very charming. "You're all done." Seeing this, Xiao Yang couldn't help but said with some distress. Since Zuna served as the patriarch of the ancient clan, he has been dealing with all kinds of problems and is very haggard, so he can only leave Xiao Yang alone in the empty room. "Well, we're all done, and the rest is left to Daddy and Senior Xiao Yan." Zuna hugged Xiao Yang's arm and shook it slightly, with a coquettish look, obviously knowing that Xiao Yang was bored these days. This made Xiao Yang feel helpless for a while. "Daddy is really abominable, why are you so festive?" He hugged Xiao Yang and entered his boudoir like glue like paint. Looking at the red and festive red stickers everywhere, he couldn't help but put on his pink cheeks. There were bursts of crimson. "Madam." Seeing Zuna like this, Xiao Yang immediately burst into ecstasy, his hands changed slightly, and he held Zuna's willow waist in his hands, his eyes became fiery. Snort. Kaylin and Mu Ingying didn't give them to themselves, so it seemed that they could only start from Zuna. "Big bad guy." Zuna also suddenly noticed something and snorted lightly, but didn't struggle. The lingering sound is lingering, the ancient clan continues to prosper, and after this major event, I am afraid that the ancient clan will be more careful about the foreign evil clan, and the foreign evil clan controls the two kings of the ancient clan, and the powerhouse of the 8-star Dozian perfection level has fallen. I am afraid it is also a big loss. Among the extraterrestrial evil races, the strength of the kings is above 8 stars, similar to the Blood King Inc., the evil spirit scholar, and the 8-star fighting immortals are only kings. Among the extraterritorial evil clan, in addition to some native-born evil powerhouses, there are many who were transferred to the extraterritorial evil clan from the Great Thousand Worlds, so they will not be reused. On the other hand, after the ancients solved their internal troubles, the ancient world broke open and returned to the eyes of everyone in Doyun continent. Although there are many rumors on Doyun continent, due to the terrifying background of the ancients, only speak in private. Brother Jiu Yuan has been dealing with a lot of things these days. It's really hard work. I'll tell you how hard it is for my daughter. Both Jiu Yuan and Jiu Yuan found a quiet trail, and they started snacking on wine and meat. Speaking of which, the two are also fortune-telling. When Jiu Yuan and his daughter just came to the ancient clan, Cheng Mengyuan and the peerless heavenly emperor took care of them secretly, but then Jiu Yuan was controlled, so there was such a series of things. By the way, brother Jiu Yuan, I don't know something. After taking a few sips, Jiu Yuan couldn't help but ask. Although the two people's seniority is quite different, but because of the fate of the two, they are called brothers. Jiu Yuan is the elder, Jiu Yuan is the second. What's wrong with brother Jiu Yuanxian? Jiu Yuan also grinned and said with a dashing smile. Since the Dodi continent is divided into 4 continents, the other 3 continents are not as powerful as us. Why haven't you heard of anyone trying to unify the 4 continents? After all, among the 4 Doyun, the Shenling continent is the weakest, and our Doyun continent is the strongest. I am afraid that the ordinary forces above the Doyun continent can completely bloodwash the Shenling continent. Jiu Yuan said eloquently, the matter was what he cared about the most. After all, Xiao Yang had integrated 3 continents, and all he wanted was to worry about Xiao Yang getting burned. Impossible. Because there are plane guardians on Dudi continent and there are not only 1 plane guardian, but 4, these 4 are brothers, no matter their appearance or strength, they are ordered to in the center of the human world, it maintains the safety of the 4 continents of Emperor Do. With them there, and with the support of the human world center behind them, no one dares to go beyond the limit. Their power, when they step into the cycle of reincarnation, has long been ignored by the world, but they have vast magical powers, and their souls are spread over their respective continents. Once there is foreign power, they will be discovered as soon as possible. This is the reason why the 4 continents of Emperor Do have been in peace. Jiu Yuan shook his head. But I heard Xiao Yang say that when the Shenling continent was facing a crisis, I didn't see the plane guardian of the Shenling continent take action. Jiu Yuan couldn't help asking. I don't know, but I can clearly feel that the 4 of them are real. Perhaps he was called back by the Human World Center at that time, or maybe he didn't want to take action. Jiu Yuan was also surprised. Forget it, let's not talk about those sad things, come, drink. For a while, the two talked happily over the wine. However, it is also a strange thing. The Endless Fire territory has been established for a long time, but the so-called guardian of the plane disappeared as if asleep. Or did they do it on purpose? When the ancient clan was so prosperous, the ancient clan powerhouses also secretly established a space-time wormhole with the headquarters of the Endless Fire territory. However, there were some small space problems during the construction, which obviously took a lot of time to solve. Therefore, Xiao Yang and others, there is no time to go back to the Endless Fire territory, so I can only wait quietly for the opening of the Medicine Clan Festival. In the outside world, the other ancient 6 clans are completely unaware of the situation of the ancient clan. The Medicine Clan's medicine refining ceremony is also under intense preparations. I am afraid that soon, there will be a battle among the Medicine Clan in Doyun continent about the entire Dodi continent. The top battle of alchemists above. On the other side, there is a great hall under the power of the Soul Palace. This place is called the Soul Master Hall. It is more appropriate to say that it is a special space rather than the main hall. Its interior is as magnificent as the ancient world. It is a huge realm that stretches for dozens of miles. It is grey here, and the whole sky is full of dead silence. There is no anger at all. The figure is like a blank piece of paper. Master of the Soul Palace, the 2 kings of the evil tribe from outside the territory who controlled Jiu Yuan have failed, and the catastrophe of the ancient tribe is over. I am afraid that they will guess that it is the powerhouse of our Soul Hall who secretly colluded with the evil tribe outside the territory, and there are many elders of the Soul Tribe. I am also impeaching you. Once you are isolated by him, I am afraid that the great foundation of our Soul Palace will be. At this time, in the Soul Palace, in a core area, there are 4 people, and the fluctuations in the 4 people are all good. Wearing a black robe, an eerie aura slowly emerged. Soul Hall Master Soul Ming. Soul Yuntian, the head of Tianzi Hall. The Soul Demon, the master of the Dizi Hall. The Hall Master of Xuanzi Hall is Soul Yang. The 3 Hall Masters of Tiendi Shentang here are the core of my Soul Hall, so I won't speak secretly. The Soul Hall Master glanced around indifferently, and the grey shirt on his body only cast a to the grey eyes, he said softly. Huangtang Hall Master Shu Shao stole the forbidden scroll of our Soul Hall, Ghost and Spiritual Life, but he seems to have been beheaded, and now the forbidden scroll is missing. Tianzi Hall Master Soul Yuntian, he said coldly, there was already a monstrous killing intent in his voice. That scroll was the real treasure at the bottom of their Soul Palace, but now it was stolen by Shu Shao and disappeared. What's more sad is that Shu Shao has no breath. People were killed. Now our Soul Palace is in jeopardy. According to the news from the Kingdom of 10,000 Ghosts just now, the King of 10,000 Ghosts has collected some human apprentices named Mu Feng, and now he has helped his Yin-Yang Dharma mastery. There are faint signs of unifying the Kingdom of 10,000 Ghosts. I'm afraid the cooperation with the King of Ghosts will completely announce the crack. And the Soul Clan is also extremely dissatisfied with our actions, and it has a vague meaning of accountability. Hall Master, look. The Hall Master of the Dizi Hall, the Soul Demon, with a stern face, couldn't help roaring. It seems that now, I am afraid that only by creating a scene of earth-shattering fluctuations in Doyun continent can we have a chance to escape. For the sake of their countless generations of inheritance and heritage, the Soul Clan will definitely blame everything on our Soul Temple to clear their name. The collection of the power of faith is almost complete, and then I will let you step into that dream realm. In the future, the army of my Soul Hall will make a comeback. Even the ancient 7 clans can't help us. Su. Han Ming, the master of the Hall of Souls, didn't take it seriously at this time, and said with a gloomy smile, obviously his retreat was already prepared by him. Do you make movement? Soul Yang, Soul Demon, the 2 of you went to the Holy See overnight and pointed everything at the Endless Fire territory. Now, only the Endless Fire territory can create an uproar. Soul Hall Master Han Ming smiled slowly. But how to create an uproar? Soul Yang and Soul Demon looked at each other, not understanding what the Hall Master meant. This is recorded by my subordinates of the Soul Palace with the memory crystal. It has the exact residual image evidence of Xiao Yang's execution of the Holy See powerhouse and the Wandering Angel in front of people. Okay. The 2 looked at each other, and immediately rushed to the Holy See with the crystal. Palace Master, this approach is probably inappropriate. Although the Holy See and the Endless Fire territory are enemies of life and death, but you send the 2 of them here, I'm afraid they will end up. There were only Han Yuntian and Han Ming, the masters of the Tianzi Hall, and he couldn't help saying immediately. The Soul Palace is the predecessor of the Soul Clan. We worked tirelessly for them, but in the end they wanted to give us up in order to protect themselves. But they forgot that more than 70% of the power of belief and the origin of the soul are from it's in my hands. Let's go. Even though there are a lot of sacrifices this time, as long as our Soul Palace survives this catastrophe, we will be completely nirvana and become one of the strongest. The Soul Palace Master couldn't help laughing, and there was a glint in his eyes. Crazy. The blessing of the power of faith and the source of the soul, although it is impossible to cross the cycle, it is enough to make him have the qualification to truly disdain the heroes. Hehe, Soul Ming, where are you planning to go in such a hurry? Just as the Hall Master of Soul Hall and Hall Master of Tianzi Hall were about to leave, the space around them suddenly shook violently, and circles of energy ripples suddenly appeared, like a ghostly face, making this space uneasy. Han Tianhao, the patriarch of the Soul Clan. He has a very keen sense of smell. Looking at the top of the void, a dark figure with a gloomy face and a laughter like that of a demon, Han Ming, the master of the Soul Palace, also murmured. Have you touched samsara? Soul Hall Master Soul Ming sneered, his voice contained a monstrous fighting intent, and he naturally knew the intention of the Soul Clan's patriarch to come this time. He captured himself and many high-level officials of the Soul Palace, sent them to the Holy See, and put all the guilt of the ancient clan on them. Even if the Soul Clan would suffer a great loss of vitality, it would be much better than becoming a public enemy of the Do Emperor continent. Each other. The Soul Clan Patriarch's eyes became deep, and cold light shot out in his eyes, as if he was in a cold cave, which was shocking. You should be clear about the intention of my coming this time. Hand over 70% of the power of faith and the origin of your soul that you have left behind privately. I can consider letting you die a little more happily. The Soul Clan chief stepped out, and the countless gloomy black energy around him was like a galaxy, directly killing the void. Completely imprisoned. You're dreaming. The Hall Master of the Soul Palace roared, and the scorching black flames all over his body turned into a sky full of stars, bursting directly at the Soul Clan Patriarch. The eternal nightmare is too wasteful in your hands, let's hand them over together. A strange voice emerged, and the breath and voice of the Soul Clan Patriarch seemed to have changed. Not possible. For a time, the body of the Soul Clan's Patriarch swelled violently, and instantly turned into a blood-colored clay figurine. On the blood-colored clay figurine, a huge and demonic flickering dark character came to life, and that power was a reincarnation. This madman actually colluded with the evil people outside the realm. We were all deceived by him. Looking at the irresistible blood-colored clay figurine in front of him, Soul Hall Master and Tianzi Hall's two souls slowly dissipated, countless powers were slowly eroded by it. Hun Tianhao, you've done a good job, and my extraterritorial evil clan will never treat you badly. With the power of belief and the source of my soul, I can truly impact the rank of the evil god. When I'm done, I will promise you supreme glory. A mighty evil voice emerged, and with all the strength, it left here in an instant. It's just a dark at the top of the Red King rank, I want more than that. The value of the Soul Palace has been exhausted, so let's just disappear, but the Soul Clan still has some useful value, and the identity and body of the Soul Clan's Patriarch are exactly in line with my appetite. Puppet, chess piece, but who controls who in the end? Seeing that the blood-colored clay figurine left with the remaining 70% of the power of faith and the origin of the soul, the Soul Clan Patriarch uttered such a sentence, and between his eyebrows, a faint the texture slowly emerges. And this thread has a very strong key to the so-called center of the human world, but now his words are clearly not equal to his identity, but he doesn't know what kind of mystery the so-called Soul Clan's Patriarch's identity is. Doyun continent, where the 7 great races of ancient times are bristling, is also becoming busy at this moment. As for Xiao Yang, with Zuna's company during these times, he has lived a life like a fairy couple for a few days. However, Xiao Yang had no idea that a conspiracy against him and the Endless Fire territory was slowly unfolding in the distance. Doyun continent, the land of the Holy Sea, the Holy City. The Holy City is full of golden light, and countless sacred auras are slowly filling it. Whether it is defensive power or background, I am afraid it is enough to stabilize the 7 ancient races. It is the habitat of the Holy Sea and the place of worship for countless believers. There are actually 2 base camps of the Holy Sea. In addition to the towering tower, there is also a holy city. The Holy City is the place where the red-clothed Archbishop and the Pope and other strong people practice, and it is also a holy place for countless believers in the Holy See to pray. The Holy See's Tower of Babel is a place for dealing with criminals, detaining prisoners, and even trying criminals. At this time, deep in the Holy City, in a splendid and solemn church, a middle-aged man with blonde hair flickered slightly. If Xiao Yang or Jiu Yuan were here, they would be surprised to see that a soft golden light filled the middle-aged man's body, as gentle as the dawn of the dawn, and the golden aura filled his body, filling him with a unique kind of radiance. Of divine breath. That kind of feeling, that kind of aura, as if he was a who fell from the sky to the mortal world, every thought and every move was enough to cause an uproar. This figure is impressively the strongest person in the Holy See branch of the Doyun continent, and the most powerful person in the Holy See that only exists in rumors, the Pope. The strength of the Pope, even if it is the Dudi Sifang continent, is unmatched. If the Holy See is not a neutral faction, they have never intervened in the development of Dudi continent. Their existence is only to protect the great world. 7 clans, and only bow their heads and serve as ministers. The strength of the Pope, as early as the First World War, entered the cycle of reincarnation. Now that the past 10,000 years have passed, the strength may have reached the level of ecstasy. No one in the Holy See can know his trace. Tell me, what's the matter with forcibly calling me out this time? The Pope said rather lazily, his golden hair falling down, which was quite an invisible shock. Your Majesty the Pope, the ancient clan has been controlled by the evil clan outside the territory, and the culprit is the soul of the Soul Clan. Also, according to the investigation of the subordinates, we have obtained the exact evidence that Xiao Yang, the Lord of the Endless Fire territory, is the ultimate murderer of our Holy See faith envoys and touring angels. It's a big deal. My subordinates didn't inform the 3 red-clothed archbishops, but directly asked Your Majesty to go out and preside over the overall situation. I hope Your Majesty. Liu Hao looked at the Pope in front of him with a look of horror, a deep depression. Makes him extremely uncomfortable. As a son of light, Liu Hao has an affinity for the element of light, and I am afraid that there are few people in the entire world stronger than him, but the residual power that the Pope just unleashed invisibly in front of him made his heart palpitate. I am afraid that his strength. Liu Hao's voice just fell, and the countless crystal bottles and even statues decorated around the church were completely shattered. The Pope's gentle smile instantly solidified, and an unprecedented killing intent rushed out like a 9-day galaxy. To convene the 3 red-clothed archbishops, I'm afraid this matter will have to be considered in the long run. The Majesty of the Holy See absolutely does not allow blasphemy, no matter who he is. The Pope was obviously angry, and the whole church was covered with countless ice threads with his fierce killing intent. Completely crushed by this force. Yes. Liu Hao smiled when he heard the words. I succeeded, my plan succeeded. After the day and night investigation of his subordinates, he has obtained human and material evidence. All the spearheads are directed at the Endless Fire territory and the Soul Clan. Now that the Pope has come forward, these guys will naturally only end in destruction. Are we going up like this? Will it be too reckless? After all, the relationship between our Soul Palace and the Holy See has not been very good. This action of the Palace Master may be a little inappropriate. At this time, Soul Yang and Soul Demon looked at each other, and they were in the Holy See. Outside the city stopped. The Holy City is full of sacred texts. Once they step into it, without the approval of the Holy See powerhouse, they don't want to retreat from it, nothing else, because the defense level of the Holy City is enough to trap reincarnation, not to mention that they are only 2 8-star fighting immortal powerhouses. The 2 of you are so sneaky in my Holy City, why? After a while, an old man in red approached the 2 bodies silently like a ghost, gently touched their bodies with both hands, and smiled slightly. It turned out to be the red-clothed archbishop. We have come to give you some things at the order of the Hall Master. You should like these things. Soul Demon and Soul Yang looked at each other, and immediately took out the memory crystal. Memory crystal? The red-clothed archbishop was slightly surprised when he saw this. Suddenly, a cold light flashed in his eyes, and the 3 figures disappeared at the same time. When Du appeared, it was already a bright world. Your Majesty, we have no malicious intentions. Lord Liu Hao is also investigating these things. We are just helping Lord Liu Hao to collect some definite evidence. The memory crystal can't be faked. There is a memory image of the culprit who killed the wandering angel. I hope you will take a look. Soul Yang gently handed the memory crystal over, but secretly winked at the Soul Demon, obviously preparing to escape. www.telnovel.com. After all, in the hands of a reincarnation-level cardinal, they can't have any chance. I'll take a look. After confirming again and again that the 2 were not malicious, the red-clothed archbishop just took the memory crystal and watched it quietly. While the red-clothed archbishop was staring at the memory crystal, the 2 soul monsters, Soul Yang, did their best to escape the red-clothed archbishop's barrier, but when the 2 of them returned to the Soul Hall to resume their lives, wait, what came was the slaughter of the Holy See. It turned out to be the wandering angel killed by Xiao Yang, the lord of the Endless Fire territory. The descendants of the Xiao clan really have a great reputation, although there are several forces that cannot be underestimated secretly protecting the Endless Fire territory. Since ancient times, the Holy See angels have never been killed by humans. The blood debt must be paid in blood, no matter who you are. The monstrous killing intent wafted out, and then all the memory crystals poured into the sight of the top officials of the Holy See. An operation targeting Xiao Yang's Endless Fire domain and obliterating the Soul Hall was carried out secretly. However, I have to say that this move of the Soul Clan's patriarch was a success. Numerous charges were passed on to the Endless Fire territory and the Soul Palace. The Soul Palace was completely destroyed by the Holy See. As for the Endless Fire territory, a fierce battle was inevitable. The realm of ancient tribes, the ancient city of the sky. More than a month has passed since the ancient clan returned to normal. In 1 month, although the ancient clan appeared to be extremely calm on the surface, a series of measures implemented behind the scenes stabilized the ancient clan, and the core high-level team was very clear. As a result, a series of unimaginable changes took place within the ancient clan. After this catastrophe, the entire ancient clan became more and more united. The ancient city of the sky, the patriarch's residence. It's all here. Father, Senior Jiu Yuan, senior celestial emperor. In the quiet and deep mansion, Xiao Yang took Zana's slender hand and said with a smile. 1 month is enough for Xiao Yang to spend a long period of leisure time, but Xiao Yang is also clear that the immediate priority is not the love of children, because Xu Shao's original resurrection technique, coupled with the previous catastrophe of the ancients, there are various indications that the claws of the Soul Palace and the Foreign Evil clan are probably not only the ancient clan. Besides, the Medicine Clan Festival is coming soon. I am afraid that it will have to be busy in the future. The Medicine Clan Grand Ceremony will undoubtedly be a prosperous world that will stir up the entire Dodi continent. Once it shines in it, it can also take the opportunity to spread the prestige of the Endless Fire territory, so as to lay the groundwork for the unification of the entire Dodi continent in the future. Moreover, for Xiao Yang today, although the soul power is tyrannical, but the refining of medicine has fallen behind a lot, and the Medicine Clan Festival is a must. You bastard, these days, the ancients really owe you husband and wife. In addition, the time and space wormholes will be completely connected in another month, but you should not wait for that time. Jiu Yuan smiled, obviously saying this from the bottom of his heart. This guy Xiao Yang, whether he broke into the ancient prison alone, or finally gave birth to a life-and-death chessboard with Xiamaishu, his courage and momentum are enough to be called dragons and phoenixes, not to mention helping Zana deal with it later. Small and large affairs among the ancient clan, and even some things that even he finds difficult, are in Xiao Yang's hands. If it wasn't for Xiao Yang's special status, I'm afraid what Jiu Yuan said was to pull this guy into the ancient clan. Stinky boy, but you're not at a loss, aren't you? Jiu Yuan grinned and scolded when he saw this. Xiao Yang has now become a legendary figure of extraordinary status among the ancient clan, and in order to make up for Xiao Yang, the ancient clan's Duji pavilion opened directly to Xiao Yang as an exception. Within a month, Zana accompanied him to go deep into the Duji pavilion, which was unprecedented. Obtained the second volume fighting skill. The ancient clan's fighting skills pavilion is quite long, and it contains some rare and unique fighting skills, and every clan can only enter it if they have established outstanding achievements. It is said that they can only get 1 volume in 1 year. Fighting skills, Xiao Yang's actions will undoubtedly make many strong people jealous. If it is a descendant of the ancient clan, it will be fine, but it is Xiao Yang. You must know that it is a fighting skill in the category of 2 volumes of immortal arts, a volume of fire attributes, a roll of water properties. If a treasure of this level is taken out to any place in Dodi continent, it will probably cause an uproar, but Jiu Yuan can only smile bitterly. Xiao Yang also said with a slight smile, the meaning of the words is clear. I helped the ancients solve such a big problem, it's not too much to get something. Even if the Medicine Clan Festival is held, it is a grand event for the entire Dodi continent, but now the 4 continents are separate camps. I am afraid that only the geniuses of Doyun continent will gather here. Among the 7 ancient clans, each has a truly intelligent genius. With the protection of its background, I am afraid this time will be a real event, and it will also be a real contest for you young heroes. Jiu Yuan said, his eyes were also somewhat hot. If I were younger, I am afraid that this kind of event would definitely not be absent, but for Xiao Yang, even Jiu Yuan could not predict it. Senior Jiu Yuan's words? Xiao Yang hurriedly asked. This old guy has something to say, and this time the Medicine Clan ceremony seems not to be simple. This time the catastrophe of our ancient clan is over. In order to consolidate the interior and prevent the comeback of the evil clan outside the territory, we will not go to the Medicine Clan Festival. The Soul Clan, the Holy See, and the 3 places of the Endless Fire territory, we will pay attention to it secretly. Once there is any news, we will notify you as soon as possible. Jiu Yuan said earnestly, after experiencing that kind of thing, let his nerves always at a level of tension. Now that the catastrophe has passed, it has been a long time to let go. It's time to work. Hearing Jiu Yuan's words, Xiao Yang immediately cupped his hands and nodded with Jiu Yuan's nod. Unintentionally, the entire ancient clan would also be completely inclined towards the Endless Fire territory. However, it is necessary to be oneself to strike the iron. The next pressing time is Xiao Yang's last chance to improve his strength. Xiao Yang had a hunch that it seemed that the next war between heaven and earth was not far away. Before that kind of battle, he must have the power to protect many relatives and friends. Let Zana accompany you there. Peerless Heavenly Emperor patted Xiao Yang's shoulder and said. Slightly. Zana heard this, her beautiful eyes twinkling, and she was quite happy. In fact, it was Zana and many experts of the ancient clan who secretly decided to go to the festival of the Medicine Clan. In the end, at the strong request of Zana, only himself and Xiao Yang went together. Although this took into account the current situation of the ancient clan, it was also a part of Zuna. Be careful. Originally, this thing was planned to be given to Zuna after a while, but now that the separation is imminent, it will not be hidden and tucked away. Next, this is an ancient clan summoning order that only the ancient clan's patriarch can handle in all dynasties. No matter where you are, as long as the token is crushed, our ancient powerhouses will smash the void to get close. You are the master of the ancient clan now, with a special status, you cannot have any losses, and any orders you give, we ancient clan powerhouses will not have any doubts. It seems that Xiao Yan and Zuna are a little uneasy. Going together, Jiu Yuan looked at Zuna, his eyes also became firm, and a silver token flashing with the ancient two people emerged in his hand. The silver token is about the size of a slap, but it has a very long-lasting fragrance and even has the special power of the ancient people on it. Thank you, senior. Zuna didn't refuse, she stretched out her hand and carefully put it away. While I'm gone, the Endless Fire territory will ask you seniors to take care of one or two. Xiao Yang cast his gaze on the three figures. Okay, don't be mother-in-law, let's go. Peerless Heavenly Emperor and Jiu Yuan looked at each other and said with a smile. Let's go. Xiao Yang held Zuneryu's hand quite a gentleman, and the two bodies slowly lifted into the air, like a pair of newlywed Younger beauties. Not to mention going outside the ancient world. The place they went to was the location of the Medicine Clan's grand ceremony. Xiao Yang was also a gifted alchemist when he was in the lower realm. I hope this time he will be able to shine. Jiu Yuan said with a gratified smile. Peerless Heavenly Emperor and Jiu Yuan heard the words, and the smiles on their faces slowly solidified. Sheng Yang, the descendant of Xiao Yang, the domain master of the Endless Fire region, still has the identity of this alchemist in the end. This made them feel that it was dark in front of them. This guy Xiao Yang seemed to be too afraid. Above the Doyun continent, the ancient seven clans and clans are lined with each other, and their huge territories face each other from afar, and they vaguely transform into a looming huge seven-point star formation, and I don't know what the deep meaning is. The Medicine Clan, this is a rather ancient race. Taking it out alone and comparing it with other tyrannical forces is a bit obvious, but just by virtue of his identity as a pharmacist, he has won the respect of countless powerhouses, so the superb skills of the alchemist are reflected in the medicine family. Incisively and vividly. Among the Medicine Clan, the core clan majored in refining pharmacists and minored in soul power. Some of them were strong enough to reach the strength of 7-star fighting immortals or even 8-star strength, but they had such terrifying strength, most of them were not good at it. A strong man in battle, but he is undoubtedly a high-level pharmacist. A high-level pharmacist is enough to become the target of many forces to up and fawn on. The reason is of course well known, and this is also the fundamental reason for the prosperity of the pharmacist. What's more, there are rumors that the Yarrow clan is the second-ranked super race among the 8 ancient races. As for the first, it is probably the Xiao clan. The base camp of the Yarrow tribe is located on the Yunling Mountains in the northernmost part of the Doyun continent. Yunling Mountains, this is a majestic and continuous huge mountain range. It is located at the highest point of the entire Doyun continent. Here, the energy of heaven and earth is abundant, and countless rare treasures are in an endless stream. It looks like a peaceful person, but many poisonous insects and some natural dangers are also extremely dangerous. Yunling Mountain is the top-ranked super spiritual vein on the entire Doyun continent. The accumulation of countless energies from heaven and earth makes it the first spiritual vein in the entire Do-Di continent. Choosing it as your own territory, just from this point, you can see that the medicine family has a lot of wealth. After all, this top-ranked super spiritual vein can not only be obtained by relying on wealth, but also has enough strength and so on. Wait. Brother Xiao Yang, just a little further, you will be within the scope of the Yaozu Yunling Mountains. Now the Yaozu festival is around the corner, and the powerhouses from all sides will gather here at the same time, and there will be Yaozu's guards in charge of receiving them. However, every time a strong person enters the Medicine Clan festival, if there is no invitation to the Medicine Clan festival, I am afraid that they will need to take out a pharmacist rank medal of the 4th rank or higher of the immortal rank before they can enter. I don't know what level Xiao Yang's alchemist rank has now reached. Zuna slightly folded her arms and turned to face Xiao Yang with a smile. After leaving the ancient clan, the two of them lowered their aura. If Xiao Yang was in the late stage of the 7-star fighting immortals, ordinary people would probably still not be able to find them. In addition, Zuna had the reincarnation seal, and he had the strength of Saint Yang and the middle stage of the 8-star fighting immortals. Ordinary people, etc., are even more difficult to find. The Medicine Clan Festival, once every 100 years, this is a rule handed down by the Medicine Clan since ancient times, and it is also listed as the most grand event in the clan by the Medicine Clan. Every grand ceremony will invite the most powerful people from all over the Dodi continent to come and watch. Witness the birth of the first pharmacist in Dodi continent. Through the Medicine Clan Festival, the pharmacist who is respected as the first in medicine refining on the entire continent will be competed for, and some people with extraordinary talents and high morals will also be invited by the Medicine Clan. Self-confidence in medicine skills. All pharmacists with the 4th rank of Xian Lai and above, even some unknown people, as long as they hold the alchemist medal, they can come to participate, but the pharmacist does have this ability and arrogance. After all, for thousands of years, the pharmacists who are the first in refining technology have all come from the Yarrow family, and now they have won the 9th consecutive year. Therefore, the Medicine Clan Festival can be said to be one of the most lively events in the entire Doyun continent. Whether it is the princes of various parties or some top forces, they will all come. Invitation from the Medicine Clan. Xiao Yang shook his head when he heard the words. The invitation of Endless Fire Territory was not brought out because it came out in a hurry, so it was delayed, and the invitation of the ancients was not brought out. It seems that Jiu Yuan did it on purpose. There is an alchemist rank medal, but the rank is a little lower. Xiao Yang scratched his head and said, it seems that his alchemist medal is still at the 4th rank of the immortal rank, but his soul power has surpassed this level too much. There are still a few days before the opening of the Medicine Clan Festival. We can go to the Medicine King City for a walk, and by the way, give brother Xiao Yang a pharmacist medal that matches his current strength. High-level medals are very useful here. Whether you are participating in the auction of the Yarrow family or buying some useful medicinal weapons, you will have unique advantages. Zuna showed a little tiger's teeth and smiled. Obviously, in the first month of the ancient tribe, the medicine family has been sold. Some of the information in the investigation is clear to the investigation. Okay, let's go. The two said, also heading towards the Yunling Mountains. After about 3 hours, the two came to the bottom of the Yunling Mountains. The vastness here far exceeded Xiao Yang's expectations. Looking up, even Xiao Yang couldn't help but be surprised. This is the first time Xiao Yang has ever seen such a mountain range with strong energy from heaven and earth. In the Yunling Mountains, layers of mist completely wrap the entire mountain range. Immortal energy is lingering. It is as quiet as a paradise, and there are faintly seductive fragrances coming out, which makes people feel more spiritual. However, Xiao Yang knew that it was the incense produced by refining medicinal pills, and the rank was quite high. As expected of the Yunling Mountains. After being shocked, Xiao Yang couldn't help but murmured. The Yunling Mountains have been nourished by countless generations of powerful people from the Medicine Clan. It is said that there was once a powerful person from the Medicine Clan who used the mountains to store spiritual medicine, making the entire Yunling Mountains like a treasure bottle. Living in it for a long time can prolong life. Treasures are even more dazzling, and it is the holy place that countless alchemists dream of. Zuna smiled. In front of it is a city of the Yarrow family specially used to entertain the powerful lords from all over the world is called Yaowangcheng. There is the most authoritative appraisal agency in the city, and on the entire continent, the top alchemist associations, with more than 70% of the alchemists, are all from the Medicine family. The overall combat power of the Medicine Clan may be close to the bottom of the 7 ancient clans, but the existence of the alchemist in the clan allows them to have an extremely large network of relationships, and now they are vaguely able to compete with the Holy See. Zuna explained patiently. Compete with the Holy See? It seems that the relationship between the 7 ancient clans and the Holy See is not very good. Xiao Yang asked. The strong people in the Holy See believe in their unique set, and they can't tell right from wrong at all. Once they touch their bottom line, they will directly kill them in secret. Among the Medicine Clan, there was a certain continent's #1 medicine refiner who provoked the Holy See, and was then secretly killed by the Holy See. Even the Medicine Clan could only endure it at the time, but the hatred was getting deeper and deeper. Not only the Medicine Clan, there are some frictions among the 7 ancient clans. Zuna said. Let's go to Yarowang City to identify the alchemist rank medal. Xiao Yang took Zuna and slowly paced away. This video will end here.